Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Because I'll set up the, there we go. There we go. All right, rock and roll.
Nice.
Oh, Juan Jacobowitz. All right.
Let everybody pour in for a second.
Yep. So, there was one thing we forgot to mention in our notes,
Hmm.
which will the Kamala Khan thing.
Oh, the 616?
Yeah, we'll get into that in the stories, but it's super funny.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get it going.
Alrighty.
So, what do you want to start with?
Fresh out the gate. Let's start with, well, we got Comic-Con coming up.
Yes,
And
there's a few things with Comic Con coming up.
mm-hmm.
So, the first thing is Marvel's set to have one of the biggest panels ever done at Comic Con. So I don't know what you heard. I've heard a few things. Well, we both heard the same thing because we're always sending each other the same stuff back and forth. But they're going to make announcements for Black Panther. They're going to make announcements for their next Phase 5 and possibly Phase 6.
Oh,
They're going to
okay.
make,
That I didn't know. Okay.
yeah, they're going to make announcements on new casting, who will be taking over what roles, which we got to talk about Jason Segel in a few minutes.
Yep.
Full disclosure, guys, today's podcast will be very short. It's about maybe 27 minutes, something like that today, or 26 minutes, roughly. But because we're going to come back again in a week or so earlier, because we had this whole scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
I had some stuff come up. You had some stuff come up. But we were able to watch Thor, Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to watch the new Resident Evil show, which we'll be talking about as well towards the end, since I just added it on. Give some notes on that from a gamer's perspective and a Resident Evil fan. But yeah, long story short, things got complicated. We're going to be doing an extra one just to make up for that time frame as well, which will put us back at a regular schedule of every 2 weeks or a week and a half, roughly, unless we do a special, and bring in some extra help from Kenny Calderon from Wildings or Son of a Saint Angel. And yeah, so the panel for Marvel, it's going to be huge. Black Panther. We're going to probably see Namor, like stills of Namor. We're probably going to get a trailer for Black Panther.
That's what I was going to say. I would assume that we have to get a trailer for it at this point. It comes out in November. It comes out like what? And plus, I don't know if you noticed it, but the movie theater I went to, when I went to saw Thor Love and Thunder, they already have posters for Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Same. Dude, I'm just excited for the future of Marvel. There's a lot of hate, and we'll get into it when we have the discussion on Thor. But there's a lot of hate coming for Thor. There's a lot of hate for this Phase 4 that we're in right now, which people don't even realize started with Spider-Man. Some people were like, oh, it started with Doctor Strange. That's the anchor movie. But Spider-Man was when it started the whole thing to begin with. That was the first Phase 4 film.
Yes.
So, all right, let's get right into it. What do you want to see them do for Phase 5 and 6?
Phase 5. Well, we got Secret Invasion coming. We got She-Hulk. So, and we know. Well,
we got Secret Wars coming up.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So, I want to see something from Secret Wars, some multiversal shenanigans. Because, I mean, we got the multiverse in Spider-Man. We got the multiverse and Multiverse of Madness, obviously. I want them to keep touching on it. I thought maybe we would get something in Thor, like a post-credit scene or something to that effect. We did not. So I want them to keep building on the multiverse, and I just want to know who the big bad is. I want to know if it's Kang, is it Doctor Doom, is it Galactus, or like how I said on previous podcasts, is it gonna be villain by committee? Or are you just gonna have a solid host of villains? Which I
That's my
think,
bet. That's my
yeah.
bet.
So yeah, so I'm hoping to get some direction on where we're going. And as far as Phase 6, well, considering that, yeah, I think Phase 6 would probably be most likely Doom. I think that makes more sense than Phase 5, because you gotta flesh it out some more, and we haven't had any inkling of. I mean, well, we got spoiler, not really. We got John Krasinski as Reed Richards, so we do have some Fantastic Four in our multiverse, in our universe. So it'll be exciting to see where they go with that, and we'll get into more Fantastic Four rumors when we get into the Jason Segel part in a little bit. We'll get more into that. But yeah, man, I think Doctor Doom for Phase 6 and Phase 5, just villain by committee, just drop any. I mean, well, we also got Thunderbolts. So we also have
We got
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts as well.
Yeah, Thunderbolts as well.
Which we still got Phase 4 for at least half of next year. So Phase 5 doesn't start till like end of next year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because of Blade and everything else coming out too. That's still Phase 4.
Is it?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Because I know we got, as far as films, we have Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Those I know definitely Phase 4. So I would think, because they just started production for Blade, no?
They did. Actually, they started 4
Or
days
did
ago.
they? Yeah, yeah. So that'll probably be a Phase 5 production. What else? We got Fantastic Four. That's probably going to be Phase 5. What else can we get in Phase 5? Oh, Captain America 4 with Anthony Mackie. That's
Now,
probably.
I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to stop you there for a second. I
Mhm.
have a feeling that Doom's going to stick around for a while because I have a feeling that Fantastic Four is going to be Phase 5. And I do believe that Doom might not be the big bad for the movie. I think he's going to be introduced. We're going to get a reveal of who he is. And then he's going to be a big bad going forward. But I have a feeling that Doom's going to be the big bad behind the scenes and in turn working with Kang.
I would like to see that.
And we already got word that MODOK's going to be Kang's assistant and his concierge per se. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see where it goes. I think Kang's going to be the big bad till Quantumania. We have Secret Wars coming up as well, which Andrew Garfield is supposed to be in that movie. He just signed a big 6 deal contract, a six film deal contract,
Oof.
and that was one of the movies that was mentioned in that deal. So
It's looking good. I mean, it's looking good. All signs are looking good for.
all signs are looking good. So we're gonna jump off of the panels because we're gonna get more of that in the next coming weeks before San Diego Comic Con. Hell, we're gonna probably do a San Diego Comic Con special after it drops. So where we're just gonna talk probably about everything. So
Yeah.
we're gonna jump away from that, but let's go right into Thor: Love and Thunder. What were your thoughts?
I felt like it was too much slapstick sometimes. I wanted to be a little more serious tone, because here you have Thor, who's gone through so much loss, and we've seen him dealing with it somewhat in Endgame, but I feel like with losing his mom, with losing Loki, with losing, I feel like it kind of has to get to a point where he has to get more serious development. Now, not to say that the movie was bad. I didn't love it by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely didn't hate it. I'm kind of just, I liked it. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself. You know, I probably best put it as that. And I felt it was a little anticlimactic with Gore at the end. I wish he would have died, being a big bad still. I kind of wish for that. And
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler.
yeah, right.
It doesn't. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oops. Yeah, Gore. Yeah, Gore. I feel like he should have went out on his sword, and instead of. But I don't know if that's maybe a Christian Bale thing, or they want to make it lighter mood. Russell Crowe as Zeus. I still don't know how I feel. I liked him better in the post-credit scene because I feel like he's going
Spoiler,
to be.
we're going to tell you what the post-credit scene is.
Huh?
I'm saying spoiler for whoever wants to continue listening.
Oh
As
yeah,
soon as you're done, when it's my turn, I'm going to tell them what that post-credit scene is.
yeah,
So full disclosure, you've been warned. Go ahead.
yeah. So now you know. So yeah, like I said, I liked him more in the post-credit scene. Um, I felt like Cord could have died. Like they could have kept that. I would have been fine with that. I know we talked about Natalie Portman's performance at the end, and I thought her and Gore were probably my favorite parts of the movie. I just wanted to see more from Hemsworth, man. And don't get me wrong, like the way Taika Waititi directed the movie and what Hemsworth did is phenomenal. Like he did a Taika Waititi movie, and he did it phenomenally. But at the same time, I don't know. See, now if we get a Thor 5, I don't think I want Taika to direct it because, like I said, I want a more serious tone by this point. Especially
Well,
now that he's lost Jane. I mean, he's gotta go on a soul searching journey and figure out what's my purpose in the universe. And we see that a little at the end. We do see it, but now the way it left off kind of makes me wonder how it's going to be for Thor 5 when we get to that point.
well, I have a feeling that we're going to see what happened with the Russo brothers, where they directed a set of movies, right? Which was Captain America: Winter Soldier. Then they did Captain America: Civil War. Then they pulled off Endgame and the Infinity War.
Yeah.
I think Taika is going to be doing that as well because there's rumors now that he's going to take over the Eternals. That was today. So I have a feeling we're going to get a different director for Thor come next round. I think this is Taika's last Thor movie. And not because he's going to walk away from that. I think it's because he has so much on his plate right now. We have a Favreau's Filoni situation too, where Taika is kind of just coming in and going, I'm going to save Marvel, even though Marvel doesn't really need saving. But I'm going to be the head director along with the Russos, and boom. You know what I mean?
And James Gunn. I throw James Gunn in there.
Yeah, well, James Gunn's done. Here he said it. After this Guardians movie, I think he's done working for Marvel.
Probably, yeah, because I know he's probably got more DC toys he wants to work with.
DC that he wants to work with, he's a bigger DC fan. He's openly said that. And then on top of that, like, what originally happened with Disney and Marvel and him, they got fired over some tweets that happened, like, what was it, 12 years ago, 13 years ago?
Yeah, I hate that too. I hate when that happens.
It's so stupid. But,
Picking up old stuff.
yeah. People can change their minds, you know what I mean? And there were jokes, you know? So, I would say that we're going to see no more Taika with Thor, which was his passion project anyway. I think he wrote the love letter he wanted to write with Thor, which was, we've talked about this. He openly said in a couple interviews that this is not made for the Thor movie fan. This movie was made for the Thor comic book lover, which is, I'm going to do my take now. My take. So, I loved it. I thought it was an amazing film. I know I'm going to get some heat for that. Whatever. But I think it's up there with Ragnarok. I think it was funny. I think we got to see more comic book storylines and more comic book writing than in any other Marvel movie, hands down. Well, no, I completely agree. I see here Gabriel, the dude. He said he didn't like it that much, and he's a Thor comic book reader. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also a Thor comic book reader. I see it more as a comic book movie than anything else, not a MCU film. Which is why when Taika was like, "Oh, this is made for not made for the film goer," yeah, no, that's fine. Um, I think Zeus's portrayal. So to expand on the conversation you and I had, which you just brought up about your thoughts on Zeus and how he was aloof, he was not there, he was a bigger boy, he was kind of just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had to portray him like that because, spoiler, they introduced Hercules in the post credit, you know, and his son is supposed to be a serious, fun loving character at the same time, you know? So seeing Thor face off against Hercules in an upcoming movie is something I'm looking forward to. Hands down.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Which gives me hope for a more serious tone.
Mm-hmm. Natalie Portman dying at the end of the film and the hate she got for being the mighty Thor was uncalled for, but her death was also just a throwaway. Like, make the death count. Oh, you're gonna introduce Valhalla. Cool. But so what? Like, unless they bring her back, which they could, because comics dead isn't dead, and the movies could be the same. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like, it just didn't do anything for me. But I did like the movie overall. I thought it was just a very strong film in my idea of what the film was, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was everything that Ragnarok is, just a little bit more toned down. I think in the aspect of he's gone through all this pain and torture and whatever, they did a good resolve. He worked that whole montage where he was working out, getting back in shape, getting back in better mental health. I think that summed it up for me. I didn't really need anything else. But again, this is why we have these podcasts. They're two polar opposites of what we thought was good and bad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and also for people to jump in and be like, "Hey, I don't like it because of A, B, C, D reasons," in the comments. It's always a good point to have a conversation and see where everybody stands on these movies.
Mm-hmm.
So my hot take, I'm really excited to see where the Thor franchise goes, especially now that they introduce Hercules and pretty much all the gods.
Yeah.
So
Like the pantheon of gods, yeah.
yeah, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
I will say, I feel like it was more jokey than Ragnarok, which I feel like is why it didn't work for me. But also, and not to say that some of the jokes didn't hit. Like there was, I say it's probably like 50-50. I think 50% of the jokes for me hit, and the other 50 was kind of like eh. But I think my favorite, like kind of like slapstick joking was with the hammers, the relationship with the
Oh,
hammers.
the hammers were great, yeah.
That not even just in a joke aspect, but more or less how they work, the connection. Like they're more than just a weapon, and we've seen it throughout all the Thors. We've seen his relationship with his hammer, and now we know why he has such a special relationship with his hammer. It's not just a hammer to him, which I like that they showed that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was really cool. They explored it, and and they closed it. You know, so yeah, I think that wraps it up for Thor for me. Any
Yeah.
good? Anything
No,
else on Thor?
no, like I said, I'm definitely looking for. I will say this: I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it again. I feel like I got to see it again before I give my true feelings on it. But from the first go on, like I said, I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just enjoyed it. I went and had a good time. There were some things obviously I liked and some things I didn't like, but overall, it's a great time.
True. Very true. Next on the docket.
So, like I said, She-Hulk. Jason Segel is supposed to appear in She-Hulk.
Yeah, Jason Segel's going to be in there. Um, they don't know who he's going to play, but the rumor mill's crazy, and I believe the rumor mill in this one. We're going to finally see Ben Grimm, the Thing, which will be another piece of the Fantastic Four that we get to see on screen. I'm really excited for that.
Now, I wonder, are they going to show him just as Ben Grimm, just introduce him? Because they have to, right? They have to just introduce him as Ben Grimm.
So they're
Or
going
is
to
how you
introduce
going
him.
to explain him being the Thing?
They're going to introduce him as a thing, supposedly. What I've read and what I've read like through spoilers and all this other stuff, and like leaks and all that stuff is the last 3 episodes. It's going to be Ben Grimm in an all-out fight with the Hulk. 1, 2. That scene in the trailer when she goes, "Who needs a lawyer to speak to a lawyer?" They're talking about Ben Grimm's lawyer because he's very scarce and he doesn't really want to talk to anybody because of his appearance, and he only trusts one lawyer, but that lawyer doesn't specialize. And there's a big thought process that that lawyer could also be Charlie Cox, Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, at the end of it all, let's see where it goes. I really like what Marvel was doing with this, with all their shows. I think it's going to be a very solid take. I think She-Hulk got a lot of bad press for the CGI when it first dropped, but we weren't close to the drop date. CGI is being worked on till the day of release, and then sometimes they even tweak it after. So, as we
Mm-hmm.
saw with WandaVision.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I believe it's going to be a really good one. My wife is super excited. She's a big She-Hulk fan, always has
Oh,
been. So, She-Hulk and the Hulk, both of them are her favorite characters. So, I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with it.
yeah. I'm excited too, and we've talked about it. I think this has the potential to be one of the better shows for the MCU. And as far as the rumor mill of him being the Thing, that would be fantastic.
Perfect casting. Ah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, see what I did there? And I'm just curious to know how. See, now I've thought about this. If you introduce Ben Grimm as the Thing, already the Thing, and we already know from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness that the Fantastic Four do exist. They exist in other universes, so we do have Fantastic Four technically already around. I wonder if they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four as in they've already been around, but they're going to be like, well, where you guys been? I think maybe they've been tracking like the negative
So,
zone.
I have a theory on this. Remember, somebody bought the Avengers building, and in the Spider-Man movie, um, Far From Home, they they explore it and they say in the street signs where the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, what's up for phase 4, but it was like encrypted in the background in the
Mm-hmm.
walkway when he drops in at the end of the movie with MJ. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking?
yeah,
It looked like walking people. Anyway, in one of the Avengers films, they talk about somebody buying the Baxter building. Or well, the Avengers building. It was under new management or under new ownership. Who buys the Baxter building? Or rather, who buys the Avengers building? Which was originally the Baxter building anyway. The Fantastic Four. And I think they've been there. I think they're in the shadows, just like Daredevil was. And I think they hid in the Baxter building after their accident. Now, hear me out. There's also a theory that I have that maybe when the portal opened up in space during the first Avengers film, that could have been the whole problem that, or rather, the whole incident that happened on their spacecraft. Boop, that turns him into the Fantastic Four with the radiation.
Interesting.
Because it was right after that somebody bought the Baxter Building.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Oh man.
So think about that. If the explosion that happened in space that was nuclear, remember their whole thing was nuclear,
Mm-hmm.
and the hole closing up and the portal closing up and all that stuff, which gave off kind of like an array as well. What if that aura of once it closed, boop, set off a whole blip of radiation and cosmic energy at the same time, causing the accident, which turns into the Fantastic Four. They come back to Earth shortly after. They buy the Baxter Building by Avengers 2, I believe it was. Yes. Avengers 2, that they mentioned that whole, somebody already bought the building. And boom. It was them the entire time. They've just been in hiding. And the only reason they don't talk to anybody is because they have Charlie Cox's Daredevil, Matt Murdock, handling all their stuff. Because remember, Daredevil happened almost immediately after. It took place almost immediately after Avengers 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally they talked about the incident.
Yes.
In the first couple episodes.
Yeah, because
So,
didn't they even refer to it as the Battle of New York, or they just said the incident?
well, no, the Battle of New York is what the Avengers referred to it as, but in Daredevil, what they referred to it was the incident.
Okay.
So,
So, damn, that'd be good. Like you said, I mean, and also you got to think this would be technically our first introduction of the Fantastic Four in the main universe, 616, because oh yeah,
go ahead. Yeah. So, real quick, I'm just going to throw it in there. We're going to shoehorn this in that, which
yeah,
was the young lady, Alma, I believe his name. I mean, her name is, right? Alma? That plays Kamala Khan?
I
Oh, I
don't hear.
always forget her name.
Yeah,
So she had originally spoke out and said, "This is the 199999 universe, right? Which is the movie universe in the comic book universes of universes." That was confusing, I know, but Kevin Feige has said over and over again, this is the main continuity universe of 616. So they were at a party, a red carpet, I believe it was for Thor, right? Kamala was invited, and this was after the fact. This was like maybe 2 weeks ago. And Kevin Feige was there. They were both doing their photos on the red carpet. Kevin Feige was like 30 feet away or 40 feet away. There was a bunch of people in between them. They both made eye contact, and Kevin Feige just looks at her and he whispers, 616, from across like 30 feet. And she supposedly got shook. She's like, what? So imagine the head of all of Marvel MCU, the one that's pretty much cutting her checks, going, stop talking shit. I planned it this way. Stop talking shit. 616. That's all he had to say. So she's like, yeah, I guess we're in the 616. I thought
so
hilarious. I think we put it in our stories. You have the feed. You can just put it up again tomorrow after this. It's super funny.
yeah, I think I probably posted it, but if anything, I'll post it again so you guys all can see. Yeah, it is really funny. It's kind of cute too.
Yeah. Get shook, Miss Marvel.
Which I got to see episode 6 of that still. I'm on the last episode, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie.
I hear it's like really well done, man.
It
Just like
is.
Moon Knight, a lot of people gave it shit, but it was a really well done show.
I feel like this is on the same par as Hawkeye, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're gonna give Hawkeye a show and this, that, and the third," and it's like Hawkeye ended up being a really good show, and this the same thing. People
But
are
Hawkeye
like, oh,
was filmed in the same format that most of the CBS shows were filmed in. It's a very made for TV show, opposed to made for Disney Plus show.
right.
So, what are the last things on the docket, sir?
We have. Let's see what we got here. Oh, well, we already mentioned Taika. So Midnight Suns. It would not be
Bruh, Midnight Suns
Midnight Suns. Ryan Gosling
wants to play Ghost Rider.
to play Ghost Rider.
Wants to play Ghost Rider. Dude, let him have it. But
It's
he
like
can't.
between him. It's between him and Norman Reedus at this point.
Dude, okay, hear me out. Danny Ketch would be Norman Reedus,
Mm-hmm.
and Ryan Gosling, Johnny Blaze. I'm sorry, backwards. Norman Reedus is Johnny Blaze. Ryan Gosling, Danny Ketch.
Okay. I mean, shit, they could do
Because
either.
Danny Ketch is supposed to be younger anyway.
That is true.
And Norman Reedus, no disrespect to him, looks a little older. So
Yeah.
I'd say that's the best bet.
Shit, you could take my money. I'd pay to see that.
I'd
And
pick
then,
both
then that
in
also,
the Ghost Rider.
whenever you cast like that, that also gives longevity to the character too, which is
Yeah.
great.
Well, speaking of, Mr. Egerton wants to play Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying there's a rumor out there that Wolverine's going to get his own film as an introduction. The Wolverine.
Yeah.
Which, if they go that route, that's fine. But if they do it like, dude, put the Alpha Flight in there. Alpha Flight is really where Wolverine's from anyway. For those that don't know, Alpha Flight is pretty much the Canadian X-Men. And that's where he was the part of, So I believe that if they did an Alpha Flight movie, I think that'd be better. If they did like maybe if they even introduced him in the Thunderbolts,
Oh yeah.
So
Why not? But no, yeah, Alpha Flight. I think if they do a solo Wolverine movie, they gotta mention it in there because it only makes sense. But who knows? I mean, who really knows how deep of a cut Kevin Feige's gonna pull out at the end of the day?
yeah. So what else is on that docket?
I think that's. I mean, we could get in. Oh no, that's right. Christopher Nolan, maybe.
So we'll close off on this one because this is a good one. Christopher Nolan has just opened up that he might want to go take another shot at Batman. Doing a fourth film, the fourth installment into his Nolanverse movies. I think it works out beautifully. I would love to see that, but I also think it's maybe a little bit too late too. I don't know. It's a weird little dynamic there. I think if Christopher Nolan takes the reins again to direct another Batman film, there's a possibility that it might be amazing. And there's also a possibility of, look at what happened with Matt Reeves. That Batman is fantastic. Christopher Nolan said it. He's like, yeah, it's like the perfect film. Which is what supposedly inspired him to even make that comment.
Oh wow.
So, I don't know. Oh, there's Angel. Hopefully he'll be able to join us next time. What up, son of a saint? Angel!
One and only.
So, I think it'll be great. What do you think?
Well, I wonder what route he would go because the way that the last Batman left off, I wonder how he would go if he did get greenlit to do that fourth movie.
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I think it would be a very Dark Knight Returns properly done.
Okay.
He's been gone for, what, at this point it would be 10 years? He could
I
even
mean,
say 15.
Yeah, you can do like 10, 15, roughly.
Comes back, does it, or if not, even better. Here's another one. What if Christian Bale is old man Bruce? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of oh my god, the name of the actor and the character he played. The guy pretty much ultimately takes over as Robin, or rather as Batman. What if it's Batman Beyond? Just Christopher Nolan style.
Yeah.
There's only 3 possible routes I can see. and those are it.
I mean, I think that would probably, if I was Nolan, I would probably go that route for the simple fact of if you go the Dark Knight Returns route, it, and especially how the Dark Knight Rises, panned out, that would be putting a lot of pressure on the film to do well because Dark Knight Returns is one of the most iconic Batman comic series, one of the most iconic Batman.
And who I think really portrayed it perfectly was Ben Affleck. That's my.
And yeah, exactly. That's what's going on. And then you got to match up against Affleck, who I think was the perfect
physical rendition of Batman.
Yes,
Old man,
especially of that Batman, that specific Batman.
The Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman.
So I think, but also you got to think too that we don't know what they're gonna do with Michael Keaton Batman, because we have him in The Flash, and then we have him in Bad Girl. So is he going to give us that Terry McGinnis older Batman?
Well,
or not? Well, Terry.
I have a feeling. They're going to go the route of. And this is why I don't know if the Batman Beyond thing is going to work, because Batgirl's going to be done. He's supposed to be her mentor, and he's supposed to take over the old man Batman role. Mm-hmm. So. And he's supposed to also take over as the new continuities Batman in that Flashverse, which I don't even want to get started on because that's a whole other 30 minutes to talk about as being absolutely fucking crazy. But supposedly the way it rolls out, Ben Affleck might come back again to do another set of movies. I'm fine with that. Robert Pattinson doing his trilogy with Matt Reeves, fine with that. Nolan coming back into the fold possibly with Christian Bale, I'm okay with that. And then, but here's the problem. Here's where everything lies. At that point, you have Keaton, Affleck, Bale. You have 3 Batmen.
And Pattinson.
You have 4 Batmen. 4 Batmen that have no link to one another except for Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton because of the Flashpoint aspect of things.
Uh-huh.
So, me being a huge Batman fan, you know this. You've seen my Batman collection. I have a very large Batman collection. I think that's a lot of Batman, man. I can't do it. Give it. It's all the best Batman, but that's a lot, man. That's so much. That's overload.
It is, especially it's overload when you got to think of there's nothing to balance it on the other side. You have Batman, but
and we don't know if Henry Cavill's even going to come back as Superman.
Exactly. Where's Superman?
Superman is disclosure. I'm not a big fan of Superman. Never have been, but I'm a big fan of Henry Cavill's rendition. He's human. He's living what Superman's really supposed to be on the inside, which is a god amongst men. And I remember what he says. He says in the Justice League when he's fighting, I think it was Mongol. It could have been Mongol. It could have been Darkseid. Don't quote me just yet. But he's fighting another worldly being from the planet Apocalypse. Christopher Reeves. Okay. I mean, that's what we grew up on. D'Angel made a good point. He goes, Christopher Reeves all day. I get it. But I love the grittiness of Cavill. But the Brandon Routh sucked. Anyway. But it was Darkseid. Okay, cool. He literally tells him, I've been waiting for somebody like you. I've been wanting to cut loose. I live in a paper box world that if I breathe on them too much or too hard, everybody dies. I always have to hold back. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I finally get to let loose. Dude, when he said that and then he proceeded to beat the ever-living shit out of Darkseid, that's my favorite rendition of Superman.
He's also done it with Black Adam. Like, he's admitted, like, when he goes up against Black Adam, he does not pull punches.
Yes, that is.
Like, he can't afford to pull punches against Black Adam.
He can't afford it because Black Adam is magic, and he's weak against magic, just like he's weak against kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
yeah, man, I I would love to see that too. I would love to see him go up against Black Adam. Oh, there you go. Angel's putting it up there. He's like, he just dropped it in the comments. He goes, "You're someone I can really cut loose on because you can take it." That's exactly what he says to him.
Love it.
That was in Superman Adventures, the animated series, or it could have been Justice League Unlimited. I don't know. But it was definitely an animated series.
And unfortunately, that's where DC is basically
It's
all at these days.
strongest. Dude,
Yeah, that's where they're all at these days.
dude, DC can do no wrong when they make an animated film. I saw the Catwoman movie and it was like, well, this is all right. It's out a little bit off the left, but I like it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
With my 14-year-old and we're just watching it and we're like, yeah. Oh, it was the animated series. Thanks, Angel. Yeah, it was the original Superman animated series from the 90s.
Nice.
But yeah, bro. So I don't know if that's it.
I think that's about it. I think we hit on everything. Unless you want to actually, you know what? Do you want to dive right in real quick? We'll end it with this. We touched on it
I
a
thought
little bit.
I said it right now. It was Catwoman Hunted. Her and I saw that together. And it was fantastic. Again, really weird, like how it starts, but it was really well done. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay. We touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to get your full thoughts on it. Taika Waititi directing Eternals 2.
Yeah. I didn't speak about it earlier. I think it's a good turn. I think they need it. Now that they did all the serious shit in the first movie, they can go more lighthearted towards the second movie. And they can, if there's anything that Taika can do, he can build worlds. You know what I mean?
That is true. I mean, that's why they're giving him a chance at Star Wars.
I think that's why Eternals is going to be Eternals 2. If he does direct it, it will be awesome because he can build that entire world and really bring you in.
And they need it too.
Yeah.
The
first one didn't do so well, or rather, it did, but it didn't. Like it did well overall. Other movies that are coming out in the theaters, but as a
it was definitely on. It was definitely on the bottom 5 Marvel. Yeah, for sure. I don't think it was the worst one, but it was bottom 5.
Nah, Miss Marvel's the worst movie they ever made.
Oh, you mean Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Captain Marvel's the worst movie they've ever done.
Yeah, I agree.
Hands down, Captain Marvel's the worst film that Marvel's ever put out.
Agreed.
So, ever.
You know what? I think that's a good place to end it.
About Brie Larson, that movie was just bad.
Yeah, man. It just, yeah. See, Angel,
bad, man.
we're all in agreement.
I know I keep on harping on it, but it's bad.
Yeah, I've only watched it once.
Damn it, Angel's like, I just sent the request, but we're about to do it right now. So
next time, though.
Next time, I'll make sure to put you in a little bit later. We'll let you know when the next one is. We'll put in our stories. And you guys have a good night, guys.
Later, guys. Have a good one.